breeze when the wind blows. Black tint on the windows. I can't see what the future holds, but I wanna know. I tiptoe on the dirt road, too hot for the devil.
Yeah, so we're from Perth in Western Australia, and I guess the music scene is real tight knit. Yeah, everyone sort of knows everyone. Real communal sort of atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah, like Perth, where we're from, is like a very small, it's like a small town sort of vibe to it, even though it's a city. And so everyone kind of like in the music industry kind of knows each other there. It's very tight, and you know, you generally know if someone's playing. So coming out here to like a bigger place is insane. It's so fun.
See, breeze, you convince me, yeah, I don't need this city, I could.
For me personally, like I've always just found myself drawn. I can't exactly specify what it was, but I guess once I started playing drums, it got more intense. Like I'd listen to these bands and all my influences, and I'd want to try and be like them, so I'd play along to like their albums and stuff like that. And then eventually, like when I left school, I joined a few bands, and that sort of, I don't know, it's just like a natural progression. It gets more and more intense until you eventually end up in, if you end up in a position like this, I guess. You know?
Yeah, kind of naturally goes.
Yeah.
Mine was pretty much the same, except like I got into music because of my dad, because he was a musician, and you know, he taught me guitar and drums and stuff. And I was in a band when I was like 10. I made a band with like my school friends, and we played a show at our school, and we covered "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet, and I've got footage of it somewhere. But yeah, like I just started playing because of my dad, and then eventually, like, you kind of just somehow wake up one day and you're like, oh, through all this hard work, I'm now in like a band that's doing something. So it's that's kind of how it happens.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I was playing in mainly rock, alternative rock bands back in Perth, and that definitely comes out in the way I play drums, like because that's mainly what I'm influenced by as well. And the Faim is like a bit more, a bit more poppy than what I normally play, but you know, I still really enjoy it as well. But yeah, definitely those influences have shaped the way I play and what I do in the Faim as well.
Yeah, it's the same. Like, was playing in bands in Perth with my friends from high school, and yeah, like kind of like alternative rock, sort of sort of sitting in that sort of genre. And I guess like when you do that for so long, you kind of shapes you as a person, as a human. It shapes your sort of musical influence as well, and like the way you do things. So that's definitely, I definitely wouldn't be the same musician I was today if I hadn't have done all of those previous things. So very grateful for that.
I guess Sam and I, Sam was, he was with the band a little bit longer than me, but for me it was a massive whirlwind. You know, I went from playing 2 gigs in Perth, like 2018, to like being in the middle of a US tour. Like, so literally like the bottom, and then like international tours. It was crazy, like a big life change, but you know, really exciting as well. Like I'm enjoying it, still getting used to a lot of things, but yeah, crazy is the word I would use to describe it.
Yeah, very, very like very insane. A massive whirlwind. I was the same. Literally, I played a show at a pub in Perth to about 10 people, mainly family, to Reading and Leeds. It was like the next show. So it was like
crazy.
So it's like it'd been a massive sort of adventure, and I'm lucky enough to have known like the other guys for quite a while before, coming into the band. So like, we were all friends beforehand, and we all knew each other, which really helped. And yeah, like all the guys are lovely. And, it's been smoother than what you think it would be.
Yeah, like the
yeah.
other guys, you know, obviously Josh and Steven have made it really easy, but also the team, like, you know, Mitch, our tech, all our tour managers, our photographer. There's a real nice family sort of atmosphere in the band and the crew, which just makes everything so much easier, especially when you spend literally 24 hours a day with the same people. Yeah, that's a big part of it too.
I really loved Reading and Leeds, obviously, because it's Reading and Leeds and it's such an amazing experience and something that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to play, so playing that for literally my first ever international show was insane. I think you always kind of get something different. I haven't really played enough festivals to be able to say, oh, I definitely prefer festivals than playing like normal shows. But playing normal shows and playing festivals, they both have their perks. They both have their pros and cons. You know, it's been great to like headline this time round, playing normal shows and you know seeing everyone in the crowd, seeing the lyrics back and having a good time. But then it's also great at a festival because you kind of get a lot of new people who just happen to stumble through your tent and enjoy the show. So yeah, they're both different, but they're both good. They're both. Yeah. I mean, as long as we're playing music, it's kind of can't complain. So
that's it.
Perfect, treat myself like an insect, wrap my life in a web, just waiting for the end. Got me feeling all cracked out, I'm your hooker all smacked out in your head.
Me personally in the studio, I try and think about like what I would naturally play. I don't really think about who my art, like audience is or what I'm trying to go for. It's more of a natural sort of thing that comes out because I mean everyone's got their there's certain things that they do, like little tendencies and stuff, and I don't know, it's a tricky one. It's just mainly like what the song needs, especially on drums as well. Like there's a you don't want to kill the vibe of the song by throwing in a million different fills and playing over the top of what the song is. Sometimes it's better just to pull it back and take a perspective from the listener, instead of your instrument, I guess.
Yeah. I don't say the same. Like, don't really go into the studio being like, this is gonna be a single. This is gonna be like, whatever. We kind of just write from within ourselves and
see how it turns out.
Yeah, pretty much.
My heart needs to breathe, needs to breathe.
I remember when I first met John, I think you do always feel a certain amount of pressure. Like you always kind of feel like you have something to live up to. But like, I think anyone who ever went into a room with John Feldmann or anyone who's in the music industry, I think you always kind of feel a bit of pressure. But we don't let it get to us. Like I feel like all the guys, including myself, work pretty well under pressure. Yeah. Pressure is kind of like a really necessary thing a lot of the time. So
yeah, and I guess one thing I sort of noticed was the pace these guys work at is just pretty fast, pretty intense. But I guess that's how it goes when you're working with people of that caliber. Like John Feldmann, he's done so many amazing albums and over like a massive career, so he really knows what he's doing. So you've just got to try and get yourself to that work ethic and standard, I guess.
Take the crown, drag them down, take the crown to show them how.
I think it was very like what Linda just said. It's like very fast paced and like especially when you're not used to working in such a well known studio with people that are so prominent in the music industry. It's a big jump from writing in a room back home in Perth or whatever. But it was all positive. Like it was all such a positive experience. Just a lot more like fast paced and you learn a lot. Like I a lot of time I just try to take as much in and sometimes none of it, like some of it doesn't click until you go home and realize like, oh, okay, like I'm picking up all this stuff. But yeah, it's just fast paced. You get used to it.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim, yeah, literally.
We're taking the grounds, break them down, hang 'em on the bedroom wall. We're dancing with blood.
Musically, for me, I work at a lot faster pace than I did before, just through the sheer fact that you've got to get so much more done in such little time, and you're a lot busier. Yeah, so that's been one really big change for me. Sam?
Yeah, I'd say the same. I think I would, you know, I guess the way I do things slightly have changed because of just natural progression and, you know, learning new things and working with people who are so good at what they do. Yeah, I think things naturally change, and as a musician you kind of naturally change because you're around, you know, different people who listen to different music, which in turn like influences you, and, you know, through all of that stuff I think you kind of just slightly change. Not heaps, but it's kind of that next progression of your musical influence or life.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Just life, eh?
Yeah, it's life, yeah, you know. I wouldn't want to stay in one position. Like, I always kind of want to keep moving forward, so I would hope that I've changed a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lose ourselves and lose our minds.
Compared to like 20 years ago, the whole game's changed a lot more, like with the presence of the internet and services like Spotify and Apple Music. Yeah, I don't know, I'm having fun being in a band in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Sam?
I think it's always a great time to be in a band.
Yeah.
Like times have changed. We have like the digital world now, and all of these streaming services, which is like which has changed the game a lot. You don't necessarily, some people will tell you that it's not the best time to be in a band, and it's better to be like a singer-songwriter or a certain type of artist. But I think as long as you do you, then it's the best. Whether if it's 2019 or 2001 or 2080, I think I'd want to be in a band, like no matter what the era. So, is it a good time to be in a band? Yeah, I'd say so.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
The album, like,
You seemed so taken back.
yeah, I got no idea when that thing, how far or anything. Like, I mean, hopefully soon, I guess. But yeah, to the future, I think, you know, a lot more touring, just writing, and hopefully release that album.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.